Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Green Room Podcast. I'm Matthew Brune, and joining me once again is Colin Mitchell, looking like he just looking like a
Look,
truck driver
yeah,
that that stopped at Love's at 3 a.m.
yeah. I'm
for
more impressed. See, I've never
coffee.
seen how bad my tan looks until I'm in a light that really just emphasizes the paleness, and that's pretty impressive when you think
Well,
about it.
the sleeveless hat combo is
Mm.
something I don't think
Well,
I've
it's because I
seen.
it's because I golfed today, so I was sweating, and so I don't
Uh,
want my hair to like be in my face, so I wore the hat still, instead of because I got home like right when the game started. So
oh, you got home. Oh, you've been all right. You've been
actually,
sitting
that's
there
a lie. I went to a Mexican restaurant, watched the first 2 minutes on my phone, and then
and then came
so
back.
then came
Yeah.
back.
All right. So Colin is
Yeah.
tired. It's been a long day for
Yeah,
Colin
it's
Mitchell.
it's tired. It's tiring. I didn't even finish the round. That's crazy, isn't it?
Well, here we
Wow.
are. But
Wow.
here we are, Colin.
We
40 to
won.
37. North Texas defeats Louisiana Tech.
Mm-hmm.
First win of the year. North Texas moves to 1-2 overall. And it's the first win of the Eric Morris era. It's
Yep.
also the first win with Chandler Rogers as the starting quarterback at North Texas.
Yeah.
And just like that, I'm back. Just
You're
like that,
you're back.
we're back. Just like that, Colin. We light the tower. We put up the claw, the talon,
Mm.
and boom, I got my home field merch
Did you?
on.
I feel like you sat in the middle of the game, just going.
I was literally just holding up the
Yeah.
like call, bitch, call, call.
I'm not sure you were saying that though. Whenever they tied the game with like.
All right, so let's run through it. Let's run through it real quick. Real
Yeah.
quick recap.
Yep.
North Texas goes up 10-0 in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And 13-0 if we extend it to the second quarter. And I thought those red zone trips where they didn't get touchdowns were going to come back to hurt them. I was like, all right, you can't just keep kicking field goals here when you're clearly driving. Louisiana Tech, sure enough, comes out, makes it a 23-14 game at halftime. I didn't feel great at the time, but then third quarter, North Texas, 30-14, raises that lead back up. I thought, between Chandler Rogers, Iowa Day, Oscar Attaway, Roderick Burns. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the
Mm-hmm.
offense was clicking. Jamoy Macklin as well. Shout out to him. And I thought the game was over at that point. Louisiana Tech did not look comfortable um, on either side of the ball, but especially on their offense with
Yeah.
Bachmeier leaving and going to Jack Turner. I didn't know where the points were going to come from. But in North Texas fashion, uh, they allow Louisiana Tech to score 23 points in the fourth quarter, come back, make a 10-point game. So it was a 10-point game. North Texas had the ball. Then the reverse fumble happens, right? And then Louisiana Tech goes down, gets a field goal, makes it a 7-point game, then recovers the onside kick, then goes down, scores a touchdown. Smoke Harris ties the game at 37. And I was like, all right, this is Chandler Rogers time. This is why you go get Chandler Rogers from the portal.
Yeah.
And he delivered.
Man, did he?
Absolutely delivered. And he drove them
Ice.
down the field, ice in his veins, made throw after throw after throw. And just like that, a long run from a day puts them, what was that, the 15, and a 31, 32-yard field goal
31. Yep.
ends up winning the game from Noah Rauschenberg, 40-37.
Yep. New kicker goat as well. Shout out.
Yes.
Shout out
Where do you
him.
want to start?
I think we should just open it up right where it needs to be opened up. We were right about Chandler Rogers. There is no when you after last game, I thought there was no way you can make it like more obvious that he needed to be the starting quarterback. After watching this game, I'm like, this dude's the best. This guy does some things that look Mason fine.
Well, he's the best quarterback since Mason.
Oh, but that's not hard to do. But I'm seeing things that Mason Fine's done. Like, like it's like that throw you recorded and posted on Twitter, middle of the field dot. Like, when was the last time we saw a throw go to the middle of the field and we're like, oh, it's gonna be a pick. Like, we're afraid as it's thrown through the air.
Yeah.
And then to the ice in his veins at the end. I mean, dude just delivers. He makes stuff happen. Not only that, he doesn't use his legs when he shouldn't. And I think that's really good. He uses when he knows he should use them, and if he doesn't, he stays in the pocket, makes a throw. he was impressive, man. 24-41 for 313 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. How many rushing yards do you have? 35 rushing yards. I know they count sacks in there, so I don't know. I don't remember how many times he got sacked. But regardless, I mean, different.
What a game. I mean, you're right. We were right. So everybody, North Texas fans, North Texas staff, everybody, we're taking our victory lap here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We know what we saw. And for some reason, those 3 weeks where Stone Earl apparently beat out Chandler Rogers cost you a game against FIU.
Yeah.
Flat out. You're not losing that game to FIU if you have Chandler Rogers starting quarterback.
No doubt.
And how different would we be feeling right now if this team was 2-1? Heck, if they had started Chandler Rogers against Cal, you probably cut that margin of defeat down almost probably by half, by a touchdown or 2.
Yeah.
And we're feeling very different about this team because then everything's going according to plan. You lose to Cal, sure, not great. Your defense is still bad, whatever. But then you beat FIU, and then you beat La Tech. I mean, we're feeling great. This is going according to plan.
Yeah.
You're 3-1 after Abilene Christian, pretty much. But instead, you make the mistake, which is flat out, call it what it is. It's a mistake to start Stone Row in the first 2 games of the year. You make that mistake. You learn from it. Credit to y'all, not to bang your head against the wall, sure. And Chandler Rogers is flat out the best quarterback we've seen since Mason Fine.
Yeah.
And probably second best quarterback in a heck of a long time.
Since 2013 with Derek Thompson. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. So
10 years.
Chandler Rogers is the guy. He gives me hope moving forward because that's the guy that can make something out of nothing. And then, like you said, make throws that not a lot of people can make. And now, remember I said it on the preseason podcast, North Texas doesn't have 2 quarterbacks that are top 7, top 8 in the conference.
Yeah.
And I was right. They have 1.
Yeah, that game proved it because
they have 1.
The fact that Stone Earl started made it seem like obviously we like you said, okay, well I guess they don't have a top half quarterback. That's a top half quarterback.
Yeah.
So
yes.
I mean, listen, it took you whatever. You lose a game from a mistake. It sucks. But now I feel like there's some optimism heading into the rest of the season because
exactly.
I mean, 40-37, giving up 23 points in the fourth quarter doesn't feel good.
We'll talk about the defense.
Yeah, but you see what Chandler Rogers did. Whew, he's gonna give you a chance in most games. Most games.
We need to recreate that meme with the sunshine on one side and the darkness on the other, and be like 40 points. Chandler Rogers is great and everything like that, and then almost can't stop Louisiana Tech after the first quarter on the other side. But we'll talk about the defense in a second. Offensively, though, Rod Burns, I want to issue an apology.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna do this
because the entire offseason, even I've said Jamori Macklin is the guy, and I was right about that. He is the guy. I think he is the best receiver on this team. Rod Burns, to me, and he was. If through 2 games, I wasn't ready to retract anything, but he was very much a situational receiver to me. He was a guy who they could rely on, which is huge, but he wasn't on that level of playmaker to me.
Mm-hmm.
Today, he was on that level of being a playmaker. So shout out to Rod Burns. We know what he can do. We've always been, high on him, but I didn't know what his ceiling was. And I still don't think he's better than Jamori Macklin, but he is a very, very good number 2 receiver there. And if you have him, Damon Ward, I think, is also very good. Trey Cleveland showed, had a big catch. So you put those 4 together and you have a receiving room that, with this quarterback now, can go make plays.
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
It's amazing. It's amazing what your team can look like with a different level quarterback.
Yeah. We're seeing the vision. We're seeing how Eric Morris wants to do things.
Yeah. I also want to shout out running backs. Ayodele, just run after run after run. 19 carries for 148 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 breakaway runs that got us into the end zone or red zone. Sorry. So and it set up the field goal.
And through 2 games, it was like, where's Ayo?
Well, it's not even that. Where was everybody? Like I feel like Oscar didn't have like an amazing game, but he gave you those when you needed a yard, he gave it to you. Like today.
I thought Oscar was there. And from a blocking perspective, like I I don't think the offense line was bad. I don't think the offense line was bad. But they did. They didn't rush for 5.3 yards a carry because the offensive line was getting some massive push.
Yeah.
Now they were blocking well enough, and Ade showed that burst that makes him special. And Oscar, I think, is a good back as well. So you have those two now. Ragsdale's out for the year, correct? That's what
I haven't seen any of that. I didn't know that he was out for the year. I
I
just knew
believe
for
that's
this
what
game.
Morris said in his, or unless I'm getting him confused with somebody else, but I believe he said he's out for the year. So you have these two now back, these two backs. We saw how they want to use them. I feel good about this offense, but that we knew that coming into this game, but we didn't know how good Chandler Rogers was going to be. That's the difference in this game.
Yes, for the season. Sorry.
Yes, for the season. There you go. Do you want to talk defense now?
Yeah. They're really bad still.
Okay,
I thought.
okay, but I don't think they're good. First quarter, they went to a 4-man front, Colin.
Yeah, and then
And
they went away from that. It seemed like after that great first quarter.
first quarter, like Mason Richards off the edge in a 4-man front,
And that
shocking.
sack he had too.
Wow. Yeah, like you again, a 4-man front, you just open up the one-on-ones on the outside pretty much. Like that's the whole point of that. You have a 3-man front and you're not blitzing, it's kind of hard. So I thought that was good. I was impressed with the secondary for the most part. Like I understand, 217 yards passing, 15 to 25. Like they didn't tackle the best. Smoke Harris got loose for that last touchdown. I don't think it was the best performance from the secondary, but between Lorenzo Thompson, between Rich Tejada, those two at corner held up well enough.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't. There wasn't like any like busted coverage or anything like that
Yeah.
was taken advantage of.
Yeah, and they played a lot of man. I felt
Yeah.
out there, so they were on some islands. They made some plays. They had some penalties, good or bad. DB is not the top of my concern right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's the top of my concern because I don't think North Texas has a clear strength. But I think the concern for me is there still isn't a clear pathway to this defense being good. Like schematically, we saw them try some different things. We saw them blitz. We saw them play a lot of man, whatever. I don't know if there's an answer here. And I think we're just going to have to live with that.
And the issue with that is this team only goes as far as Chandler Rogers goes now.
Exactly.
Because you can't rely on the defense. And it's going to feel a lot like those early Mason Fine teams where you're trying to put up 50 points a game to try to win a game. And La Tech, isn't super, super bad, but they're worse than Navy, as we saw. They're worse than Memphis. I mean, they're worse than a lot of the teams that are going to be playing the Americans. So you hope for some improvement, but this team's only going to go as far as Chandler Rogers goes and takes them.
I don't think this team wins a game where they don't score 40 points.
No.
And
if they do, it'd be pretty impressive.
Like if they win a game 35-31, I'll be like, hey man, defense.
Ooh.
Yeah, defense did his job this time.
Yeah.
So Kevin Wood, 9 tackles, Logan Wilson, 8 tackles, Bryce Lender, Ethan Waslowski made a couple plays. And I don't want to sound disrespectful when I say that, but it is very much ragtag. We're gonna piece this thing together and find a way to get stops when it matters.
I mean, you got Jace Ruder in at linebacker, so
what was that?
You have Jace Ruder in at linebacker, so
he didn't record a tackle though.
I just know he was in the game. I don't know what he did.
Okay. So defensively, I'm not sold. Like I'm not coming off this game being like, oh man, they figured it out. Wow. Even though they held them to 14 points through 3 quarters, Colin. In theory, it's not bad.
Yeah.
And the passing game, they only, like I said, 15 of 25 for whatever was 217 yards. Like they were fine. Still, the run defense is very spotty. As we've talked about at length throughout the season. I mean, Shelton for La Tech ends the game with 152 yards on 16 carries. Those are the type of performances that are going to get you beat, especially against good teams when you think about, Navy coming up on the schedule as well. So
yeah,
I don't know. I feel good.
I feel better, way better.
I would have felt better if they didn't almost lose, almost choke the game away.
Yeah, I guess to to be devil's advocate, I want to say that it almost had the same. It was almost the same type of situation with how they lost to FIU. You turn the ball over and you kind of the momentum shifts, and I feel like momentum shifts really affect this defense. At least we've seen that so far this season. So I feel like if you don't fumble the ball there, I feel like it's a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
And we're not
I
sitting
think,
here going, well, they tie the game and now we're
yeah.
scared.
I think that's a good point, though. This is a defense that has to be on schedule. And you
Yeah,
always hear about offenses having to be on schedule.
yeah,
But I think this is a defense that's like, hey, we don't want to take over at our own 40 and have to get a stop here. Like, we're not doing
yeah,
that. Like, put it
yeah,
on the 25 on the other side. We'll get a stop eventually and either force a punt or a field goal. Like,
yeah.
that's, I think, the hope here. And, you know, North Texas, though, 7-7 on red zone attempts. I know only 3 touchdowns and 4 field goals, but at least they didn't turn the ball over. Whereas if somebody else was the quarterback, I think they might have had a turnover here at some point.
Oh no.
What else do we want to talk about? This is now we can look ahead a little bit. We're
Okay,
not gonna go too far ahead. Abilene Christian up next. I don't know if they end up beating Cardinal Word.
let's see.
You can look that up. They were tied at one point. That's not going to be an easy game, but it shouldn't be. They should win it by 2 scores, 2 touchdowns, in my opinion, 14 or more. Like that's the type of.
They're down. I don't know if they have the ball, but they're down 7 in the fourth
Okay.
quarter with 2 minutes left.
Okay, that's a pretty good result. And Cardinal Word's a top 10 FCS team, so that's not an easy. That's not a pushover FCS team. That's what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah,
we will learn something next week about this team. We'll learn something across the board. But with Chandler Rogers, I think at North Texas we'll be able to put up 40 plus points, and hopefully that should be enough against Abilene Christian. From there, you went to conference play. We watched Memphis. We watched Navy. Well, yeah, we've watched Navy. We've watched Memphis. UTSA lost to Army. Go down the list. I feel like the top end of the American isn't as good as what. I mean, SMU and Tulane are the top 2 teams in the
yeah,
American. After that, it's wide open. I don't think FAU is great. I don't think Memphis is great. Like, you have a lot of teams on there that are good, not great. However, I think the bottom of the conference is better than what I might have anticipated.
yeah.
Temple,
South Florida,
Navy,
South Florida as well.
Charlotte, South
Charlotte.
Florida. Like, the bottom of the conference is better than what I expected. And so that makes me nervous, because that's what North Texas is competing against. We're trying to put North Texas in the top 8, 9 of this conference this year,
Yeah,
and I don't know how feasible that is with the schedule they have.
yeah. I mean, UAB is really bad though this year.
Oh yeah, UAB is
I
bad.
think that's one of the wins now. UAB is currently losing 27-0 to Chandler Morris's old team or Chandler Rogers' old team.
Who are they losing to ULM?
Maybe it said Louisiana. Actually, let me go look. They're losing to Louisiana 27-0.
That's still a pretty bad loss.
Yeah. They lost to Georgia Southern
Yeah.
49-35.
Tulsa's gotten blown up by Washington and Oklahoma the last 2 games, so I don't really know anything
Yeah.
about them. But yeah. So again, the bottom of the conference is an interesting spot. I think North Texas. This is where I if you would have asked me a week ago if North Texas wins like those games, I would have said no. But now
Yeah.
that we have a quarterback, it's game on. It's a different game now. It's a completely different game. So I last week at this time when we were doing this podcast, it was like
Felt bad.
I was almost ready to throw in the towel because I didn't
Yeah.
see a way in which they could have answers on either side of the ball.
Yeah.
The Hail Mary was Chandler Rogers.
It
And
worked.
he has answered our prayer.
Yeah, it worked.
Yes,
Did you like the candles, Bruni?
I did not. I need
Yeah.
some North Texas candles. That's what I need. That's what I need to do.
Same exact pictures in the candles, just replace the logos with North Texas.
Yeah, Chandler Rogers' face.
Yeah.
Anything else before we wrap it up? I think this is good.
Pick 'em.
Oh, the pick 'em.
I think I won.
I don't think you did because you had Stone Earl getting rushing yards in this game.
Okay, we're gonna count that even though
I was gonna take it out.
We
I was
should
like,
take
all
it
right,
out, honestly.
all right, we'll take it out.
Unless you just want to swap it for Morris, which I think then you still win.
No, because it was our prop was more rushing yards, Earl or Rogers. You said Earl, I said Rogers. So we'll delete it.
I see.
We'll delete it. Okay. Stoner over under 1.5 interceptions.
Didn't play.
Was
Doesn't count.
Colin.
We'll just
Well,
wipe it.
Okay, we'll wipe that one too. All right, we
Yeah.
got to do double next week to make up for this. We need to add another one.
Add a
next week,
third
okay?
one. Yeah.
Yeah, third one. All right, 183.5 rushing yards allowed.
Oh no.
I said over, you said under, and I think it was over.
Rushing allowed 215.
There you go. There's one for Bruni.
Damn. I'm losing.
You're lucky
ground.
those other ones got wiped, or else you'd be really getting.
I'm losing ground.
UNT total North Texas interceptions. So North Texas intercepts La Tech. 0.5. Colin said under. I said over. You were correct. It was 0.
Let's go.
Damn it.
Wash.
I really want to get some separation here, so I don't have to sweat this.
And I got
predictions. Right. Colin said 38-35. Dangerously close to be on the money. All right, if one of us,
I was just gonna say that. Do we make it more points?
Right? How many points is that worth?
It's 1 right now. I think we just make it 2.
No, it's got to be more.
Think more?
3.
Damn.
Yeah, if you get a prediction right, Colin, exactly right.
You know what's crazy is I think both of us got one last year.
Yeah, maybe. All right, well that's worth 3 if you get it exactly right. You didn't, but
I didn't. But yeah. All right, I got a point back.
All right, Colin, get the point back. The updated standings are Bruni 6, Colin 5.
Yeah, that's
we will do 3 each for.
Shout out Stoner for not playing in the game. Because if he did, my life was over.
Saved your hair. Okay.
That's crazy.
Anything else? I'm trying to think. Just make sure.
Who they play next again? ACU. We talked about that. Yeah, we'll do our preview pod whenever that happens.
Do our preview pod
Thursday.
Just to get a nice reaction out there. I'm feeling good, Colin. I feel like we're kind of subdued.
Let's do this real quick. Let's go through the possible wins now.
Okay.
Because we made it to where we don't know how they could have won a game anymore. So I think we owe it to the people. So we got one already. Abilene Christian, we'll give that's 2 wins.
2.
I think you still lose to Navy.
Yeah, I think Navy wins.
I think Navy's a loss.
The run defense is not going to be there.
Temple.
We'll give them Temple. Temple at home. We'll give them Temple at home.
We'll give them Temple at home.
Yeah, give them Temple at home.
Okay, I was looking at the schedule. Temple. We'll give them Temple.
Then the stretch of death.
Yeah, I think you lose every game in the stretch of death.
I don't think. Then Tulsa, UAB.
Really, yeah, we don't know anything about Tulsa. I think you destroy UAB. I think UAB is a destruction. So is that 5 wins?
It's 4.
4.
Well, are we including Temple?
Hold on. 1,
La
2,
Tech, Abilene
3,
Christian, Temple,
4, 5.
UAB.
If you include Temple, Tulsa, and UAB, it's 5.
5.
Possible.
APR score getting us to a bowl game again?
And then we'll play Army and lose.
No, I do not play Army. They pushed around UTSA yesterday. I do not want those problems.
Maybe we'll be UTSA.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think UTSA is that good.
Didn't they?
I said coming into the year, remember? I said coming into the year, UTSA was going to have
I think we both said that. Wait, Frank Harris was injured?
Yeah, he didn't play last game.
Ah.
He'll be back, though. But he hasn't been good this year either for them, so he got his money, and he...
Watch, UTSA is about to show us all wrong and destroy Tennessee.
No. Frank Harris got his money and said, all right, I'm good.
San Antonio dealership money?
Y'all take it easy.
I'm out.
All right. There was something I was going to say. I don't remember what it was, though. But regardless, thank you all for interacting with us on Twitter. It's always a lot of fun. Keeps the good times rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was almost a bad time, though, I will say.
Helps us get through the panic as well. So
shaking.
Thank you all. Thank you all for that. All right. We'll be back later in the week to preview North Texas Abilene Christian. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see if we can have a guest on. I'm going to try after a win. I'm going to try to get a player from North Texas on now. Keep the good times rolling. So, all right. Thanks for joining us. We will talk to y'all later. Home field. Don't forget. Look at it. That's how I'm in the podcast right here.
Right there.
Field. Right there. Home field. 15% off. Code.
Now that you guys are Mean Green fans again, go buy your shirts, okay?
There you go. All right.